Um, doing this one from the couch. So what I want you to do is grab a blanket, and you can roll up the blanket so that it tucks right behind your back. So you might need a couple of blankets, you might need one blanket, you might need two blankets, like whatever floats your boat, but just have something that can support your back on the couch. So stick those right behind you, and then just sit up nice and tall. We're going to start with just some breathing, so hands on your thighs or your knees. Take a big inhale. And open your mouth and let it out. Inhale. And let it out. Just stay there. I gotta let my dog out. Inhale. Let it out. Good. And a few more of these. And on your exhale, literally let yourself get a little bit more like relaxed, like a Notice where your breath is going into. It can be rising into your chest. You might feel it pushing out in your belly. Who knows? Who knows where it is? You don't need to judge it. Just let it be. Inhaling and exhaling. So the idea is we're trying to inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. Good. Okay, so just making sure your feet are flat on the floor and your knees are bent to about 90. Depending on how your couch fits you will depend on a lot of things. So what I've done is I've rolled up these blankets. They're behind my lower back and my bum so that I can sit up a little bit more. So I'm going to find my triple S. Now your triple S is the back of your head. So the skull, the scapula, which is your shoulder blades, and then the sacrum, which is like a tiny, not tiny, but like a triangular bone or a shield-shaped bone that's just above your tailbone. So if I were to turn to the side, the back of my head, my shoulder blade area, and my sacrum is all in one line. I'm not like hunched over or, sticking too far up with my head and my neck back. So that's what we're trying to do. Line up the triple S, feet are flat on the floor, knees are at about 90 degrees, give or take. Good. A couple more breaths here. So we're going to start from the earth up. So what I want you to do first is lift and lower both heels. Just lift and lower. Good. See what that feels like on your feet. So we're just slowly and gently opening up the fascia on the bottom of your feet. It can become quite rigid, sticky, hard, dehydrated. So it's kind of nice, yes, that it will stay just like so. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Breathing deeply. Nice. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now next, you're going to keep your heels digging into the ground as you lift up the toes and lower the toes. Lift up the toes, and it's actually the whole foot, except for the heel. So you're trying to bring the toes up and the ball of the foot and the arch, lifting and lowering. Hang tight. I'm just going to go let my dog in. Stay in the life. Lifting and lowering your feet. So you're really allowing yourself to start to stretch into the back parts of your calf, your feet, all of that fun stuff. Good. Lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. Good. Now I want you to sit up a little bit taller and reconnect with that triple S. So we talked about it, the skull, the scapula, and the sacrum. Oh, that's part of what we call the lit yoga method. developed by a physical therapist. She's brilliant. Lifting, good. Now we're going to put them together. Lift the heels, lower, lift the front foot, lower, lift the heels, and lower, front foot, and lower. You can say it to yourself because it's kind of fun. We're getting our brain involved in the movement. Heels and lower, front foot, and lower. Yeah, good. We're just going to do 2 more of those. Good. I've been repotting some plants, trying to make them look pretty. And that's it. Good. All right. So now just open up your eyes if they're closed, because they could be closed. And I just want you to kind of like roll your shoulders back. Feet are back normal on the ground. Yeah. And then you'll see I'm just rolling my shoulders back because it feels so good on the shoulder blades. Good. We'll do a few more of those. All right. So now we're going to move into the knee area. Okay. So all I want you to do is lift one leg up and lengthen, and then the other leg up. So I love these for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's not pressure on your knees. Like, it shouldn't feel like painful on your knees because there's no weight, right? We're just sitting. I also like it because it allows us to notice if we're turning our foot like out to the side or in. So just take a look at your feet when you're doing this and notice. What we want is the knee to be facing the sky and the toes to also be facing the sky. So there's no like funky stuff going on here. Good. We'll do 2 more on each side. Whew. I'm starting to warm up already. Good. Last one on that side. Nice. Okay, so now this next part I want you to scooch up, and we'll just give you a minute. Scooch up to kind of the very edge of your chair. And again, you're going to need to find your triple S here. So the feet should be flat, and you should feel like supported. So you don't feel wobbly or anything like that. If you do feel wobbly, stay sitting back a little bit. But other than that, like I've got almost like my they're called sits bones, so the bones that are the little feet of your pelvis. I've got those, like I can feel them right on the edge of the couch. Now you're going to take your hands, put your hands in your hip creases. So if you're like, Diana, what's your hip crease? So your hip crease is right where the thigh meets the pelvis or the ASIS. So that's your frontal hip point right there. There's a crease there. So you see how that is? That's your hip crease. I want you to put your fingers in there as much as you can and like dig around in there. Not aggressively, but like feel that hip crease. So those of us that have like low back pain, oftentimes it means we're just not using our hips or our glutes properly. So we're going to try and engage those a little bit. So as you are just sitting there, fingers dug into those hip creases, I want you to just close your eyes. And now you've got the little feet of your pelvis. So that's like right down by your crotch. They're the sits bones, and they're the kind of the bony, like, you know, when somebody sits on your knee and like you can feel the bones there and you're like, ouch, those are sits bones. So I want you to just go ahead and engage those sits bones. So draw those sits bones together. Yeah. And you're going to feel like a tightening in your pelvic area and a lifting up. So just feel that and feel what happens in your hip creases. Can you feel that? And then release and then tighten. So you're kind of squeezing together. Good. And release. One more time, we're going to try that. So tighten the sits bones and release. Good. Now keep them released. Push your feet into the ground and then drag your feet back, but without moving them. So no. Look. This is important. Push your feet down into the ground. You're not moving anything else. You're just pushing the energy down and then dragging the heels back. But my feet don't move. But you know what does move? The backs of my thighs get engaged. So that's a nice way to start engaging the backs of the legs. Good. So hands back in the hip creases. We're going to alternate between sits bones drawing together, release, push down with the feet into the ground and drag back and release. Okay, this is a lot up here. Fingers in the hip creases. come along with me. So first of all, sitting nice and tall, triple S. Engage the sits bones. So those sits bones right by your crotch are pulling in together. So it feels kind of like a Kegel, but it's much better. And then bring everything upward. So the energy comes up and then release that. Push down into the feet and then drag the feet back without moving the feet and feel the legs engage. We're going to do 2 more of those. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, let your lips flutter. Good. Engage the sits bones. So drag the sits bones in towards one another. Good. Release that. So there shouldn't be tension in the pelvic area. Push down into the feet and drag the feet back. Important work we're doing here. Release. Last time. Take a big inhale. Let the breath out. I like that little flutter lip. Good. Sits bones come dragging towards each other and up. So you can feel like this energetic lifting. It's pretty cool. And then release back down, push the feet into the ground, and drag the feet back towards the wall behind you. Whew, good. And so you should feel like the backs of your legs were engaged. So you can just kind of give them a little hit. Good. Good. You can stand up if that floats your boat, if you want to kind of stand up and shake it out. But if you're like, no, I'm sitting down, I'm going to stay seated, that's fine by me. Okay, my friend, this next one is a version of what we in the yoga world call a Suki grind. I love these. They're really good for your abdominal muscles, your pelvis, and everything. So you're going to keep your feet on the ground, stay up kind of a little bit more to the front of your seat so that you can stay nice and tall in the back and you've got room to move. All you're going to do is circle. As you breathe, think about breathing and bringing the air into the back of your body. Okay, so instead of pushing your belly out front or letting your chest lift up, as you inhale, think of your ribs expanding. Yes, and if that gets to feel like, oh my God, I don't know what she's talking about, don't worry, just move. We're still going the same way. We're rolling the same way. I'd love to show you a side view. Oh, hang on. I'll grab one of these chairs and show you a side view. I won't be able to do it as good, but this is my toddler's chair. Okay, so I'm on the edge and I'm just Suki rolling. Let me take this off too, because it's sometimes easier when you can kind of get a good idea of how it's going. Good. Okay, let's go around the other way. And so what I'm feeling when I'm doing this is the breath going into the back of my body, and I'm almost like rounding through the back as I go around. Yeah. And my recommendation is do this a lot. You could do this class daily or every other day to just kind of get loosened up in there. And I know you're here. I know you're moving. So good. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep going. Now this, when you're doing it, you might even feel your sits bones. And what we're basically doing is just stirring up the energy in our belly and all around our spine. Yeah, feels good. All right, let's do 4 more this way. Whew, lots of brain work today too, huh? Yes, okay, stop that. Now you can go ahead and just let yourself relax for a moment, grab a drink of water, do what you need to do, and then come back, backing up. So moving your seat back again into those blankets or pillows or whatever you've shoved back there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and see if we can move the ribs, but not the pelvis. Okay, so it's like we're detaching. So I just want you to take your hands onto your ribs on the side, just like I'm doing, and just see if you can push the right rib into the right fingers, go through center, left. So you'll notice I'm like tipping a little bit in my pelvis. So we don't want that. So let's try to not tip. So we can lean, but no tipping. So the lean is fine, but not like the tipping and the hiking of the pelvis. Good. So just try that a few times. And then from there, you can also imagine that you have a hand on the front and on the back, and you could push your ribs forward and then feel how it feels to push them back. Push them forward and push them back. Good. Now let's try a circle. Let's go to the right. Let's go to the back. Let's go to the left. Let's go to the front. Let's go to the left. Let's go to the back. Let's go to the right. Let's go to the front. One more time around. Go right, back, left, front. Left, back, right, front. Tata shake, just for good measure. Okay, from there, we are just going to loosen up in the shoulders, in the neck, and then you will be out of here for the day. So shoulders, we'll do this nice little shoulder roll again. So rolling backwards feels good. Yes, good. Now take the right hand behind your head and the left hand behind your lower back and see if you can breathe into the hands behind your back. So not behind your head, but behind your back. So take a big inhale. And this will feel confusing until you get the connection, the neural pathway tracked between your brain and your breath. Good, one more time. Whew. And exhale, switch sides. So the left hand is behind the head, the right hand is behind the lower back, and then we breathe into that hand on the lower back. Inhale and exhale. So I feel a little bit like my belly pushes out. So now I'm going to close my eyes and really try to push the breath not into my belly, but into my back. That's better. Good. And then release down. Let's do a little neck work. So the right ear can go to the right shoulder. And then up, left ear to the left shoulder. And then up. Now I'm going to get you to take the right ear to the right shoulder. Got it? And then just take your left hand and like tilt the chin just a tiny bit towards that right shoulder. Good. If that feels okay, you can leave it there. If you want a little bit more intensity, you would take the right hand and just rest it on the head to get a little bit more stretch in this neck muscle here. So it's important. I didn't say yank. Did I say yank? I do say yank sometimes. We don't want to yank. We want to rest our right hand so that it just adds a little bit of intensity into that, opening up that neck muscle right there, into the levator scapula, it's called. And like anatomy, obviously. Release. Whoo! Come back to the center. I'm starting to feel a little dizzy. And like dizzy in a good way, kind of buzzy. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and take the left ear to the left shoulder. And then you're going to take that right hand and just help the chin. And I'm serious about this. Like just help the chin move over just a little bit. And then once you kind of feel like, oh, that's the spot, you'll know. You can either stay there. That's beautiful. Or you rest the left hand on the head. So just as a PS, I don't think you're old. I think you're gorgeous, and I think you can move, and I think it's beautiful that you are moving your body. True story. I think old is not necessarily, oh my God, I know sometimes we feel old. So I do acknowledge that, but old, no. I think we can move better as we age, and it's never too late. Good. Release the hand, come back to the center. Okay, so here we go. Last little bit. I want you to come up to the very edge of your seat. You're going to lift the heels and lift the toes. Lift the heels, lift the toes. Notice it's a little bit harder because you're sitting up on the edge of the seat. Yes, lift and lift and lift and lift. Good, you're lifting the heels, lifting the toes. Two more, heels and then the toes. Now lift the left and put it down. Lift the right, put it down. So you're lifting the left or lengthening the left knee. Do you see him? Yeah. Yeah. He's scratching the couch, like trying to make a nest. You keep going. Keep going. So left lengthens and then right. Two more. Left and then right. Last one. Left and then right. Let's see if we remember the sits bone connection. So put the fingers in your hip creases. Pull the sits bones in together. Release. Push down into the feet. Drag the feet back to engage the backs of the thighs. Release. Sit bones in together. Good. Release. Push down into the feet. Drag the feet back. I know, and it feels fast, but believe me, your brain will get there. I promise. Good. And then we roll the shoulders. Good. 4 more. 3. You ready for some smoky grinds? Let's do it. We're rolling around to the right or clockwise. And then, my friend, reverse it. Roll it the other way. Oh, that feels good. Reverse it. We'll do it 2 more times. Clockwise. Reverse 2 more times. Counter. Clockwise. Good. And then we roll the shoulders again. Good. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. So my hope is that you feel really good and either ready to start your day or ready to, just chillax. If you want more old lady yoga, tell me. The love, the light, and the kindness in me recognizes the love, the light, and the kindness in you. Namaste.